I have a lot of respect for Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi as a political tactician, which is why I can't understand for the life of me why she is refusing to send the articles of impeachment over to the Senate for a trial. She claims she just wants to make sure it's a fair process, and she wants to see the rules for trial before she sends them over. Really? Or what? I mean, you don't send them over, and then what? You see, I don't think anybody is taking this strange hostage situation seriously, especially not Majority Leader in the Senate, Mitch McConnell.
I'm not sure what leverage there is in refraining from sending us something we do not want.
The truth is that Nancy Pelosi has no say in what the Senate does with the articles of impeachment. And that's not just me saying that. That's in the United States Constitution. The Senate shall have the sole power to try all impeachments. Sole power. That's pretty clear. Nancy Pelosi has no power or influence over what the Senate does with the articles of impeachment. But here's the thing. She knows that. So what exactly is she up to? Here's one possibility. The State of the Union is scheduled for February 4th, 2020. The last thing that Nancy Pelosi wants is for President Trump to stand up in front of Congress and the world and say he was acquitted, even exonerated, by a trial in the Senate after what he will call a sham of an impeachment by the House. That's the only strategy I can really figure out in this strange tactic by the Speaker that is making her look desperate and hypocritical. Let's start with the fact that the House sped through this impeachment process because the Democrats said over and over again that President Trump is a clear and present danger to the nation and must be dealt with immediately. If that's still the case, why the delay now? And remember when Nancy Pelosi said that she wouldn't agree to impeachment unless it was bipartisan? Well, now she says,
frankly, I don't care what the Republicans say.
This after getting not one Republican vote in the House, with 3 Democrats voting against at least one of the articles of impeachment. And she lost at least 1 seat in the House, with New Jersey Congressman Jeff Van Drew switching parties to become a Republican after his no vote for impeachment. But now the Speaker wants a fair and bipartisan process in the Senate, even though neither was done in the House of Representatives. But the most insidious part of all of this strategy, is that Speaker Nancy Pelosi and Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer are counting on the constitutional ignorance of the general public, of all of us, in claiming that it won't really be a trial in the Senate unless they call witnesses and hear evidence. First of all, this is not a trial in the traditional sense of a criminal or a civil proceeding. But even if it were, those trials are stopped all of the time before any witnesses are ever heard after a motion for dismissal because of lack of evidence. But again, a Senate trial is not a traditional trial. It is a political process, just like the impeachment in the House was a political process. You may remember that when Bill Clinton was impeached in 1999, there was a vote to throw out the case before any witnesses were ever heard. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer was then a freshman senator, and he voted yes to throw out the case. Now he's hoping that you'll forget how he voted in 1999 and believe that a quick resolution is unfair. Again, the hypocrisy runs deep. It is very clear right now that Donald Trump is not going to be removed from office. There's just no way they're going to get the required 2/3 vote or 67 senators to vote for removal with a Republican-controlled Senate. What's going on right now is just a political battle over public perception moving into the 2020 campaign. And so far, ironically, impeachment seems to be a political winner for both President Trump and the Republicans leading up to the 2020 election. especially in the battleground states, the ones that will decide who will be president in 2020. Donald Trump, right now in the polls, wins in every one of those states in a hypothetical battle against all of the Democratic frontrunners. That was not the case before impeachment. But of course, Nancy Pelosi knew all of that could happen. But she caved to political pressure from the Democratic caucus, who wanted impeachment no matter the cost. And now she is just stalling to mitigate the damage. But unless there is some dramatic change, Donald Trump will remain president, and the Democrats will lose their majority in the House of Representatives. So instead of removing Donald Trump from office, Nancy Pelosi will end up being removed from her speakership. I'm Larry Mendte. We'll talk again soon.